Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Move Daily Fitness. My name's Tracy Steen, and the workout today, we're focused on your lower body. This is a beginner workout. So we're gonna hit some legs and glutes, and the format is gonna be 40 seconds of work, 15 seconds in between. I'll hit each circuit for 3 sets, and then we'll move on. This is gonna be a knee-friendly leg workout, so no squats or lunges, but we'll find lots of other ways to target those legs. All right, you're gonna require a variety of dumbbells for the workout today. Here are the ones that I suggest a beginner use. Of course, lift within your own abilities. I'm also going to use a very light mini band, a resistance band. If you don't have one of these, don't worry, you can still do the exercises without. We'll start you with a warm up and end with a cool down. All right, are you ready to move daily? Me too, let's do it. If you're setting your watch, you could maybe just do functional strength training. Let's start with the softness in the knee, foot is flexed, and some kickbacks right here to warm up your glutes. Two more on this leg. And switching sides. Foot is flexed so you don't hit the ground. Very good. And alternating front kicks. If you can't kick high, just kick low right here, that's fine. Two more. Very nice. And holding that wall again, we're gonna go into some hip cars. You're gonna come up and around really slowly. Let's do 3 each direction. Warming up the ball and socket in the hip. Okay, reverse direction here. Come from behind and around. Switching legs, up and around. And reverse. Very good. Little wider stance right here and a heel or hand to toe tap. Stretching those hamstrings. And I want you to just camp out right here on this side. Okay, knees are soft. We're just lengthening through that hamstring and inner thighs a bit. And come to the center. Just swing here for a moment. And over to the other side. And back to center. Let's walk our feet together and round up really slowly so that you're not dizzy here. And up to tiptoes. Two more. Give me a little twist right here with a high knee, alternating sides. Okay, excellent. We're gonna start with a seated leg lift. You can do this on a chair, alternating leg lifts. Of course, you can do it without a band. I'm gonna wrap the band around my feet and put a little tension on my quads that way. Okay, I'll call halfway on this one. So the band is under 1 foot. I'm sitting far back on my chair or bench. And we're gonna do that leg lift just like that. Nice and tall, lift, good, lift. It is better if you're sitting on a higher chair or bench. This is just probably 2 inches too short. If my feet were hanging, that would be better, but that's okay. I'm still getting a good amount of work on this quad here. Switch your side and lift. I'm going to use the band for all 3 exercises here this morning. So again, with or without the band is fine. Let's slip the band above the knees and we're going to make our way down to the ground. I'll bring a 15-pound dumbbell to put on my pelvis. So if you don't have a band, just use the dumbbell. Feet are close to your bottom and glute thrusts. Get ready. And up, little pulse at the top, down. Up, squeeze, down. Up, pulse, down. So my feet are close to my bottom. Knees are equal distance apart. We're putting some tension on those glutes here. All right, take that dumbbell, set it to the side, and we're gonna go right into our fire hydrant. So up onto all fours, with or without that band again. We're coming out to the side. We're gonna stay on the same side and I'll call half. So we lift and lift. Very good, nice neutral neck. You're just looking at your hands. Back is straight. And we're coming up to that 90 degrees as long as you have good form. If it feels too tight, just go up as high as you can. All right, switch your leg and up. Let's go into round 2, back to your seated position. And again, with or without a band, that single leg raise, sitting nice and tall and lifting up right here and low. Up, good. Thinking of flexing that quad at the top. One more in this leg and switch and lift. Really flex that quad at the top of the contraction. Flex, good. Okay, into your glute thrust, band goes above the knees. I'm gonna hold that 15-pound dumbbell on my pelvis again. Feet close to the bottom, pulse at the top. Here's your glute thrust, and your up and squeeze, drop. Up and pulse, drop. Wow, good. Feeling those glutes. Let's go into our fire hydrant. Just 20 seconds per leg, so it's not too bad here. With or without a band, push up through the shoulder blades. And we lift, good, and lift. You don't want your upper back sagging here, so I just push up through the shoulder blades, keep my core engaged, and lift the leg out to the side. 3, 2, last one on this leg. Now you switch and up. Okay, let's do one more set. This is where, if those ones felt too easy for you, you can increase your weight amount, all right? Especially on that glute thrust. Single leg lift and up, good. Flex. Good for hip flexor work here as well. Last one on this leg, and you switch and lift. Slipping the band above the knees for our glute thrusts. I'll grab a 20-pound dumbbell because I have it here. Of course, you can go lighter and work up and squeeze and low. Pulse and low. Feeling those glutes now. They are burning. Excellent. Let's finish off with our fire hydrant. Okay, just 20 seconds aside, not too bad. Push up again through the shoulder blades and lift right here. Up, good. Three, two, last one on this leg, and switch up. Okay, nice work. Grab some water. Of course, you can take a little bit longer break if you need. Stretch things out in those legs. Otherwise, take a look at the screen. I'll post the next exercise for our next circuit. We're starting with a sumo pulse deadlift. So let's go light to start with, maybe a set of 8s or lighter if you wish. I'm gonna hold them together, wide stance, a little pulse at the bottom, hinge at the hips. So you're hinging, pulse, and up and squeeze. Good. Low. Pulse and squeeze. Reach your hips back. Here's a side view for you. Hips go back, pulse, and up. Just a gentle little pulse right here. Good. Back is super flat, and you're reaching your butt back like you're shutting the car door shut with your butt. Reach and up. Big squeeze at the top. All right, going back to our abduction, so side leg. You can use a dumbbell or not. I'm gonna use a 5-pound. Tuck it behind my knee, and we're gonna be at each side for 40 seconds. So nice and slow. You're gonna lift it up and slow. Up, slow. Good. Of course, this can be done without a dumbbell. This might be just enough for you without. Another way to do this, of course, is to take that mini band above the knees and do that leg extension this way. And switch sides. Good. Tuck that right under. Knee is soft, that's stationary. And we're out to the side. Make sure it's secure. And work. Lift and slow. Up and slow. 5 seconds here. Into your kickstand deadlift. All right. Again, pretty light weights until you have the hang of the form. I'm holding 10s. One foot is planted, one knee is soft, and we're hinging forward at the hips for that deadlift. So we reach 2, 3, and up. Slow, 2, 3, power up. I will call half and we'll switch legs. Last one on this leg. And switch. Other foot is kickstand and we hinge. Back to your sumo pulse deadlift, and I'll stick with those 8s. Wide stance, knees are soft, and again, it's that hip hinge. All right, pulse at the bottom, and back is flat, slow, pulse, and up, squeeze. Back is flat, and squeeze. Good. Working those glutes here, a little bit of hamstring. Perfect. Let's go into our standing abduction. This could also be done with a straight leg if you wish, okay, instead of bent. 40 seconds per leg. And we're quick, slow, 2, 3. Quick, slow, 2, 3. That's it. Stay on this leg. Last one here. Good. Shake that standing leg out for a second. We're gonna switch sides. All right, tucking that weight behind if you're using that, or a band, or no weight is fine. Get ready and work. Quick up, slow, 2, 3 on the down, up, slow, 2. Over halfway, stay with me on this side.
I didn't call you off for another. I didn't cross the line for the bottle. Take me back. Take me back.
Alrighty, setting that down. Going into the kickstand deadlift. I'll go back to my 10 pounds per hand. I'll call half. Kickstand 1 foot, other knee is soft, and you hinge right here. Slow, 2, 3, power up, slow, 2, 3, and squeeze.
Don't go, 'cause all I need is right here. With you, it feels like everything
Switch legs and work.
So real. With you, it feels like everything's so real.
All right, final round on this circuit. Let's go back to our sumo squat. You could use one dumbbell, of course. I'm gonna up my game and grab my 20-pound, but you can go lighter. Wide stance and hip hinge. So you're slow, pulse, pulse, up and squeeze. Slow, pulse, pulse, up and squeeze.
Just need one more chance to say it like this. Don't leave me, babe, 'cause now I see it clear. Don't leave me, all I want is to be here. Don't go, 'cause all I need is right there. With you, it feels like everything's so real. So real.
All right, excellent. Going into our single leg abduction. I'll stick with the 5 pounds, 40 seconds per leg. Quick on the up and slow. Up, slow. 2, 3, and work.
A couple hundred miles
Stay with me here. Got about 10 more seconds on this leg.
changed. You're blaming me too complicated, but I will never stay the same.
Nice. All right, shake that out. Sometimes that stationary leg that you're standing on, it's doing an isometric contraction. It's holding your body weight up. You can feel it more in that leg than the working leg. All right, other side. Here we go. And we lift, slow, 2, 3, and up. Ten seconds here. All right, finishing off with that kickstand deadlift. I think I'll go to 12-pound dumbbells, 12 pounds in each hand, but of course lift within your abilities. Hinge forward at the hips. Here we go, and you're slow. And squeeze. We're putting a lot of that tension on that front leg here. The back leg is like a balance or a helper leg, like a kickstand. So you're doing most of the work on that front side. Switch sides and hinge.
Talk about what's on our mind.
Very nice. All right, another water break for you. If you need longer, of course, take a longer rest. Otherwise, check out the screen. And that's our final circuit coming up next. I'm bringing the band down again. Here, we're gonna start with some line abductions. So take the band, if you have one, above the knees. Feet are gonna be close to your bottom. We're gonna raise and open the legs. So up and open, down, up and open, down. So you're doing an abduction at the top of that glute thrust. Good. You can hold your mat if you need, and you could also just stay up in this position here and just hit that abduction without hitting the thrust. Okay, either is fine if you feel like it's more beneficial for your glutes and hamstrings, that's fine. I like to do the thrust and abduction in one move. All right, lying leg raise with or without a band. We're gonna go onto our side. Okay, you can prop your head up with your hand here, and we're just gonna lift right there. 40 seconds per leg, get ready, here we go. Foot is flexed, little lift right here. Okay, targeting that outer thigh, and of course your glute muscle is activated as well, that glute medius. It doesn't have to be high, just a little pulse right here. Stay with me, we're halfway through. See, if we switched right now, it wouldn't be quite enough volume on that side. So we're gonna stay with it. Rest as you need, of course. But 10 more seconds here. Very nice. All right, switching sides. Flip it, kick it, reverse it. Prop your head up with your hands there. Foot is flexed. And we're right over top of that bottom leg. Little pulse and up. Good. Up. If you find the band too much, too heavy, just take it off. Your body weight from your leg might be just enough for you. And again, the band I'm using is very light. It's the ultra light. So a little bit of tension, but not too much. All right, going into our hamstring march, let's remove the band. Feet are gonna be as far from your bottom as you can make it. And then you're gonna pop up into glute bridge. You can hold this or add the march. Here we go. So march is just alternating that leg lift toward the ceiling here. Again, I hold my yoga mat so that I don't slip. If you find the single leg too much, hold the bridge, squeeze the glutes. That's great too. All right, back to the top. Taking that band again, putting it above my knees for my glute thrust abduction. Feet are close to the bottom. And up and open and down, up and open and down. Into your lying leg lift, and we're gonna change this ever so slightly. You can keep it the same if you wish, which is just on your side. I'm gonna roll forward, just a quarter turn forward, and kick back now, targeting a little bit more glute. So you're here, good, and here. So not on my stomach yet, I've just sort of quarter turned, and this is gonna target a little bit more of that glute maximus. Again, you're gonna stay on this same side for a full 40 seconds. Almost there, 10 more seconds here. Of course, you can break longer if you need. All right, excellent. Flip it over. I'll go this way so my leg shows. So again, you can do what we did the first round, which is out to the side here, or quarter turn and go back to the diagonal instead. So you're back and back. Doesn't have to be a grand kick back, just an ever so slight one can target that glute. You don't want to arch the back. You just want to activate those glute muscles. I learned this 3-point glute kickback or glute kick leg raise from Brett Contreras. He does all 3 in a sequence. So he'll do 10 sideline or 20 sideline, 20 kickback like this, and then we're gonna do ones on our stomach the next round. He does it all in a row. Wow, good burn. Okay, let's go into our hamstring march. Anyway, I just wanted to include that because I thought it was a great way to target those legs without hurting the knees. All right, feet are far from the bottom, hips are up, and you hit that glute march here, or that hamstring march. More glutes if your feet are closer to your bottom, but if you can really walk the heels out, you're gonna target more hamstrings for sure. That's what I'm trying to do here. Nice. Round 3, everyone. Let's go back into our glute thrust. Abduction. Bend above. Feet close to the bottom. Up and open and down. Up and open and down. Very good. Okay, so you can go back to the beginning, do your side leg raise here if you wish, do the diagonal. I'm gonna do on my stomach, hands under my chin, and leg lifts here. Little. Now it does not have to be big here. You don't want to arch the back too much here. Okay, it's just a little raise. I probably should have put the band down by my ankles to increase the tension, but it's above my knees. That's okay. This is probably enough for me today. Doing well. You've got about 20 more seconds on this leg, so stay with me on the same side. Wow. See what I'm talking about? It is glute mania here today, everyone. Glute mania. That's what I should call this workout. And rest. Oh, good. All right, switching sides. Again, foot is flexed and you're just getting that little kick up there. Get a nice little break here between this one. All right, here we go, and lift, and lift. Doing well. Stay on this leg. You've got about 20 seconds left. Then we'll finish off with your hamstring march. Whew, good. Final exercise. You've got your hamstring march. Band goes there, nice and far away. Grab your mat, push up into bridge, and march right here. Alternate, or hold that bridge. Push hard now, folks. This is your last exercise. Let's make it count. Then stay tuned for a stretch if you can. We'll lengthen through those glutes and hamstrings, I promise. Halfway through. Push now. You've got about 10 more seconds. Stay in the pocket. In 3, 2, 1 and done. And you've moved daily in your glute focused, knee friendly leg day. Excellent job, everyone. All right, stay tuned for a stretch if you can. We'll stretch down here. Smash the like button if you enjoyed the workout. Let's stretch out those legs, especially those cheeks. I'm gonna start with a 90-90 stretch. I want your trail leg to be at 90 degrees, your lead leg to be at 90 degrees, and hands are behind you. Then you're gonna rock right here for 4, 3, 2, 1, and now you're gonna hinge forward at the hips, stretching through that glute. Nice work. Yeah, that was definitely glute oriented, was it not? The cheeks are singing, singing some song. Let's go back to 4 right here. 4, 3, 2, and this time we're gonna camp out on this side right here and hinge with my bench right in the way. This is a great mobility exercise if you feel like you have tight hips, because yeah, it's working the ball and socket, that tissue around the hip joint, which can often be very, very tight. So incorporating these 90-90 stretches is a great idea. Let's go back to here. Doing those hip cars like we started with as well is really good. All right, nice and tall. Bring the leg in and hit that glute stretch seated this time. Excellent. All right, important to work those legs and work your way up. This is kind of like a beginner / intermediate workout again. Some exercises I wouldn't necessarily give a brand new person, like a sumo deadlift with a pulse. I mean, we lifted lighter weights, switch legs, but it's hard to get that deadlift form correct. And you definitely want it as you start to increase your weight amount. You don't want to be rounding in the back. You don't want heavy weights that are pulling on the lower back. So you really have to have form correct before you increase your weight amount. But we kept it pretty light here today, light for me anyway. I hope that you enjoyed some of those patterns. Okay, nice and tall and hamstring stretch. Hinge at the hips right here. But it's really important to work your lower body, especially if you're over the age 45, 50, because as estrogen declines, that is a great sort of equalizer for a lot of the glycogen. It can help take the glycogen up into your muscles and use it for energy. Switch sides. When estrogen drops, our ability to regulate that glucose becomes more challenging. So we have to use the muscles more or build bigger muscles so that the muscles themselves will use more glycogen, more fuel from our body. And when we work the big muscle groups, that's what it does. It's tearing microscopic tears, which requires lots of fuel to repair them and work them. Let's go into butterfly stretch here. And yeah, that keeps that glucose better regulated. Another thing that really is really helpful is when you do a postprandial walk or an after meal walk. Lots of studies have shown how beneficial it is to use your muscles in a walk after your meal, and how that again will take the food that you've just consumed and it'll upregulate it into the muscles so that the muscles use that excess glucose as energy, and then it doesn't get stored as fat, especially if you've eaten, more food than your body requires, more fuel than your body requires. Let's go into a quad stretch here. Grab the shoelaces, push your hips forward, and draw your knees closer together here. Stretching that quad. That little seated leg extension was good. Normally for quads, some of the exercises I do are close bench step-ups. I do front squats and front lunges. So I said I wasn't going to do anything that was going to exacerbate knees. It's hard to target quads without doing some of those things. Switch sides. So one of the things I do recommend is really working on your knee health as well. I don't know why your knees hurt you. There could be a variety of reasons. Some people don't even have cartilage there anymore and they just have bone on bone, and so they have to be really cautious. But for a lot of us, there's some knee pain, and it could be joint pain from carrying excess weight. It could be an injury. There's a lot you can do to really improve knee health as well. And I would implore you to do that. And I would implore you to follow Ben Patrick, who has an Instagram handle and YouTube channel called knees over toes guy. It's a long handle, but that's what it's called. Sit up tall, hinge forward at the hips. Grab those shoes, draw them close. Anyway, he just gives so many protocols to improve knee health. You've got to follow him. You've got to do those things. Strengthen the vastus muscles, strengthen the tibialis anterior, the calves. Like there's lots of things that you can begin to do to strengthen the knee health. Backward walking is an ideal way to do it. I do it all the time when I'm outside. Up a hill, turn around, backward walking, and that helps to strengthen the calves, the tibialis, the quads. Such a great exercise. All right, thanks for joining. Go Move Daily in your wellness and nutrition. We'll see you all in the next one.